Welcome to the Pap Smear Podcast, where we don't just scratch the surface, we go deeper. Today's podcast is our new special edition for the next 8 weeks called Sin City Recap. So I'm going to recap every episode, every week of my new show, Sin City Rehab. First one I'm going to recap just to give you guys insight, a little behind the scenes. But for all the other episodes, I'm going to start asking you guys what you want to hear, what questions you want to ask. But for this one, I just wanted to get on here and rant because I have so many questions already from you guys about the first episode, but just wanted to give you guys a little insight. So I did a show called Windy City Rehab for a very long time. I'm going to toot my own horn here, but it was Emmy nominated. And as the executive producer and as the creator of the show, that is like the highest honor. I'm so grateful for that. It was a show that was a dream, and then that dream became a reality. And that reality turned into a bit of a nightmare with some shit that went down, which I will get into in another podcast. But Vegas has always been home for me. And I don't think a lot of people know that. I moved to Las Vegas when I was 19. My mom and her husband were building a house out here, and she asked all 4 kids, my brothers and my sister, who's coming with us to Vegas? And my little brother and I, and Nikki, we were like, we'll go. In fact, some of my most important years were in Las Vegas. So before going back to Chicago, I went to school here. I started my interior design firm, Alison Victoria Interiors here. This is my second city. It's not just oh, I up and moved from Chicago to Vegas. No, I always had my house here, had my new house, my house behind me, Tierra Bonita, which I did a whole episode on Tierra Bonita on Windy City Rehab. So one entire episode, you get to see how I bought this house, what it looked like before, and then what I did to it, the full transformation, top to bottom, full gut job. But to give you guys some insight, every time I would leave Chicago and come back to Vegas, I just felt calm and I felt happy and I felt home. And that's a big word for me because I don't know the last time I actually felt like I was home. So coming back home has been something that I've worked really hard towards, and it took a very long time to get back here. And so to not just get back here, but to start over here, to start my business over here. My team is still back in Chicago. And so even though they're not here in Vegas and they're not boots on the ground, and I am alone in essence here, they're still my team. So I still am running my business, and we're still designing for clients all over the country and all over the world. But I need to feel like I'm sitting still. So much of my life is running around and on a flight 4 times a week. And I love what I do. Don't get me wrong, but I'm finally home, and you guys get to watch that journey. And so Sin City Rehab is even more of a docu-series than Windy City Rehab. And so the interesting thing with this new series is that it's coming, I hope, at the perfect time. TV is changing and HGTV is changing. I remember doing Kitchen Crashers, and I would do 26 episodes a year of 30-minute shows. And so we're seeing a shift again. We're seeing a shift to go back to faster content. And I hope that this docu-series really takes you on that journey. I mean, it's an hour-long show, which, to give you some context, you're getting 8 episodes, 8 one-hour episodes, 6 different projects that turned into 8 different episodes, and some really cool side projects that you'll see. Those took me a year. So we started filming a year ago, and you get to watch the last year of my life play out in these next 8 weeks. And it's crazy because as the executive producer on the show, I'm wearing the producer hat, and then I'm the designer, of course, and I'm doing the on-air talent stuff. So I'm playing all these different roles, and this show tested me in so many different ways. I learned so much, and This new show I'm co-producing with Big Table Media under my own production company called Briefly Gorgeous Productions. So this whole thing is truly my biggest accomplishment to date in my career, is doing this show, is surviving this last year, and we're still shooting. So like I'm still trying to finish a house, but the show is already aired. It's crazy, and trying to weave this into a story that makes sense to you guys is really important to me, because I want to make sure it's be like I'm being authentic. I am showing you exactly what happens when it happens. And if it doesn't happen and I'm not with cameras 24/7, then I have to be able to tell you guys that story in a way, whether it's like a sit down interview that you see weaving through the show. But for the most part, you guys are seeing the real shit go down as it goes down. And I hope you guys love it. I hope that this show inspires more shows to come out and to be vulnerable and to show the good and the bad and the ugly of this business, because it's so beautiful, but it's so difficult. And yeah, this first episode, you guys, I've heard a lot of chatter and banter back and forth on social media about me and the conflict that I'm dealing with on episode 1. And so it's a very uncomfortable situation. And any designer out there or anybody in this construction world knows exactly what I'm feeling or what I'm dealing with when I'm in that moment. I have these amazing clients, Jeremy and Deborah, who had this house that they were going to build, like a full custom house on a new lot. And when they went to price it out, it was too much. So they had to like sell the lot and that dream. And they ended up buying this track home. And a track home in Las Vegas is a home that's like built by a builder in like a subdivision. So most of the houses look the same. They have like 3 or 4 different models, so they look a little different, but most of the finishes are the same. So it's a bit cookie cutter. So they ended up buying this track home and they ended up hiring a general contractor. And that general contractor also had done the floor plans for them and the design for them. And they just were not happy with that. And so they called me already into their process. And they were like, hey, we want you to design our house, but we're in a bit of a predicament because we've hired our GC. They've already done the plans. And so we need you to come on in and show us what's possible in a house that's pretty standard. So I had to come in and do a couple different jobs here. First, I had to step in the middle of a project where they were partially demoed and show them what was possible. And when I showed them what was possible, it was like just red tape, hurdle after hurdle, no after no. And the no's became condescending, and the red tape became just because. And it was this pushback, and it was this blanket of gray that I watched kind of like thrown over my clients in these situations where they wanted something, but they were being told they couldn't have it. And so I did not want to come into this situation, but I also became very invested in Jeremy and Deborah and this house and what it could be. And that, this was my first real job here in Las Vegas. And like, I know that I want to grow my business out here. I want to get more private clients and stay put, like stay home and be here. And of course, have clients all over, but like it'd be nice to have some back home. And now here I have them, but I also am in a massive predicament. You guys got to watch that whole thing go down in real time. And it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for everyone. It was uncomfortable for me. It was uncomfortable for my clients. It was uncomfortable for my team behind the camera. And nothing should ever be that uncomfortable. Nothing should ever be that type of pushback, like where you keep saying no, even though the answer should be yes. Yes, we can move the wall. Yes, we can do it. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how much time it's going to take. But what you see in that moment is something that people all over the world go through sometimes. Like, this stuff happens. And Jeremy and Deborah were kind of backed in a corner to think that they couldn't have what they wanted, to think that the only thing that they could have was what was shown to them by their contractor. I tried to diffuse the situation over and over. Of course, I couldn't show you guys the entire thing that played out, but there was a whole lot of no, there was a whole lot of um, being talked down to. And I don't, it's not that I want conflict. Like, trust me, like, I know that this business is filled with conflict. I don't want that. I want things to just be easier. And I know that they can't be the easiest in this business, but fuck, they can't be that difficult. And I don't know what that balance is between a contractor and a designer, but I know that, like, it's just been happening too long. Can't we just get along? Like, can't we just play nice together? Because we're both in it for the same thing. And if we both agree to say yes more, then we could create the most amazing projects together that are resume builders, that are reputation builders, that word of mouth like goes around. Everybody then wants you to work on their house and design it and build it. Like, nothing should be this hard, and nothing in life should ever be this hard. So for me coming back home and dealing with that shit immediately right out of the gate was almost this fucked up place in my head where I'm like, gosh, here's this person who is creating so many roadblocks for us, but is also like not really reading the room. Like, you don't have to talk to somebody that way. You don't have to be condescending. You don't have to treat someone like shit to get your point across. And I mean, if the answer was just no, then fine, no. But tell me why and explain it to me. Like, don't just like shit all over something with no backup. And then you guys get to see the end of the episode, which is like the beginning of the next episode, where I'm on the phone with my client and I'm about to go meet this contractor for coffee to figure out if we're moving the wall. Because where we left it was he's going to check with the structural engineer and then he's going to let me know. But on my way to lunch, I get on the phone with Jeremy, with my client, and Jeremy tells me that this contractor told him that my designs look like shit. I'm sorry. Where is the professionalism in that? Like, where is that? How is that getting us to a better place where we can do this together, where we can make something beautiful as a team, but instead you're going to tell our clients that my designs look like shit. Now, if people don't like what I do, that's fine. It's okay. But my clients hire me because they love what I do. And that's how the business works. When you're an interior designer and you work this long and you have your portfolio of work and people get to see what you do or what you're capable of, they hire you because they've seen that work and they love what you do. So for the general contractor to then say to the client, like, her designs look like shit, we could do a better job. I'm sorry. That's just like, that's not the way that this should go. And it was shocking. And then it was also not a surprise because of the way everything was going down. It was like, okay, this is what you want to say now? Like, what if, what if I went around saying that to everyone? What if I met every general contractor and I was like, hey, by the way, everything you do looks like shit. I'm going to do it better, but we're going to work together. Nobody does that. Like, nobody talks like that. Or people do, I guess. Clearly, people do. But like, how is that? How is that? I feel like I'm trying to be an adult and trying to, like, make this move faster and give them everything they want. And then, this episode goes by, and I had an amazing premiere party. Tons of friends and family flew in. All my local friends and family and clients were there, and everyone's watching this episode with me live. And I guess, like, as somebody who lives it and then watches it back and has everybody watching it with them, I heard, like, people kind of, like, cheering, and then I heard people clapping, and at the end, I had so many people reach out to me about how I handled myself in that situation and that they were inspired by it because they've been talked to like that in life or in business, and that they appreciate the way I stand up for myself. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much to everybody who's been so amazing and so supportive. The show is like, this is my everything. I've given everything to do this show and to finish these homes and to build my business in Las Vegas and to build my production company with an awesome show and great experience and learning like so much about the business. But like then there are the haters. Then there are the people that write the shittiest stuff on social media. And I'm so sorry, but I can't help but see those things. I don't go looking for them, but I definitely would be lying if I said I didn't see them. And for those of you who say that, like, I'm too much or you hate me or um, that I'm constantly in conflict, it's like, you don't know me then. And you haven't watched my work or my shows or my life. You don't know me. And so I'm not looking for that conflict. I'm looking to just stay alive in this business. I'm looking to do what I love every day, and design makes me so happy. I talk about design like I talk about the love of my life. I talk about those two things the same way because they bring the same joy to me, and I love them so much. And so when you're in this business, when you're on television, it's part of the process, unfortunately, is the haters and the shit talk. And all I have to say is just, what would you do in that situation? If you were me and in my shoes, being talked to like that in front of your clients, what would you do? That really is the question because I can learn from that. But I definitely learned from my experience that I handled myself the best way. I if I went back, I would do it all over again the same way because I did not let my temper take over. I didn't get like emotional about it. I stuck to the facts. I tried to be extremely respectful of him and making sure that I heard him and having a little sidebar and talk there. And then for me, like, I didn't even know he was still talking shit about me when he walked away from that scene in the driveway. So, like, I get it. Maybe I'm being, like, sensitive, or maybe I'm just not cut out for the shit talk on social, but I don't know who is. And I do know that I have learned a lot, about myself in the last couple years, about making sure that I show up the right way, about making sure that I'm communicating the right way. And I'm proud of the work that I'm doing, both in front of the camera and behind the camera, because it's a really, really delicate dance. I am being extremely vulnerable. I am showing you guys everything. And this season is an absolute roller coaster of real life. And this is just the beginning, and I hope you guys love it. And again, I am opening this up to questions, so you guys can ask me after every episode airs. I'm gonna go on social. I'm going to ask you to ask me questions about the episode, and then I'm going to do a Sin City recap to give you guys all the juicy scoop, all the answers to all your questions. I'm also going to be doing some of the podcasts with some special guests that have been on the show. You guys are going to get to meet so many special people in my life and see them on the show and see more of this house, which I'm so excited about. And I hope you buckle up because this is a rough ride and it's still not even over because this is real life. And I'm just starting and I'm not going anywhere. And I feel so happy to be home. And please tune in. Sin City Rehab airs every single Wednesday night for the next 7 weeks on HGTV, and you can stream it next day on HBO Max. So please tune in, DVR it, watch it, stream it, and yeah, thank you guys. I love you.